I know. Thanks, guys. Well, welcome to the Men's Health Workshop. Super excited for this. Strong, lean, unstoppable, regain your edge at any age. So thanks for showing up here. We got some work to do, boys, but we got a strong room here. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm Dr. Chad, chiropractor here, son of God, saved by the Lord Jesus Christ, husband to Victoria, father to Gemma and Roman. I'm a passionate advocate for proactive health, right? Not just popping some pills and calling it health, being proactive in this. 20 years of consistent study on the failure of our healthcare system, right? I think you guys understand we have a sick care system. We don't have a healthcare system. What we're doing here, what we're going to be talking about, this is all about building health in yourself. So here is a appalling statistic to me, right? The average 40-year-old man today has testosterone levels lower than a 70-year-old did in 1980, okay? So that's appalling to me, and we have to make a change. If we keep listening to the people that have made us like this, it's just gonna keep declining, okay? So it's time to stand up, it's time to make a change, and I got the exact answer here for you. What I've heard from some of the wives so far complaining about is that he's always tired, right? He doesn't listen or engage anymore. He's glued to his phone, he's glued to his TV, he's let himself go, and he doesn't pursue me anymore. So this is what low testosterone has done to us. So it's time to steer that ship in the right direction. So today's mission, if you choose to accept it, all right, we're gonna help you regain the strength, energy, and purpose and leadership. Men, you're not designed to fade, okay? You're actually designed to thrive. Our bodies are designed to heal themselves, and we just have to allow it, we have to give it the right things to allow it to heal. So this matters absolutely more now than ever, okay? You guys all accept the challenge? All right. So key roles in testosterone in men. So obviously testosterone builds muscle, okay? It actually helps build and burn fat here. Testosterone helps us build lean muscle mass. Low testosterone actually does the opposite, right? So it's actually going to increase your body fat, especially around the midsection, the dad bod that everybody's like really proud of these days. It's not healthy for us, okay? This isn't a body shaming thing. This is just a pure health thing for us. So testosterone fuels our energy. It fuels our motivation. Healthy levels actually drive your energy and your mental sharpness. Low T levels will actually bring you to fatigue and depression and that whole brain fog thing. So again, there's pills for all the symptoms out there, but there's a cause to the symptom, right? We have to get to the cause, not just pop some pills. So supports confidence and mood. So there's a couple of neurotransmitters that are really important. That's the dopamine, that's the serotonin. Your testosterone actually influences these things. So low testosterone causes irritability, being apathetic, low self-esteem. So I'm going to give you a couple key ways to build that testosterone up naturally. It's vital for your libido. It's vital for your sexual health. So sex drive, erections, productive function, and it's the #1 cause if you're under 60, causing ED now. So no purple pills here. Let's hit some weights, all right? Or blue pills, right? Not purple pills. So protects against disease. This is how powerful testosterone is. It helps regulate your insulin, so your blood sugar, your cholesterol, your blood pressure. Again, drugs for all these things, but not to get to the cause, right? Lower testosterone associated with higher risk of diabetes, hence blood pressure, blood sugar, heart disease, and even stroke. It'll strengthen your bones. So we're seeing more osteoporosis in men, especially due to age. But if you have testosterone, then you don't lose the calcium in your bones. It also enhances recovery and resilience. So aids in your workout recovery, injury healing, and even stress adaptation. A couple more shocking statistics for men is that we die 5 years earlier than our women on average, okay? So this is based on we tend to smoke more than women. We use alcohol abuse more. We have poor diets. We kind of, push off symptoms much longer. We engage in some risky behavior. Cardiovascular disease typically develops in us 7-10 years earlier. So probably guilty of all this stuff, of course. Risky behavior, I think we all like to go fast, right? I mean, I sail ice boats on ice going 50, 60 miles an hour and I race them. I like speed. I have fun with it, right? It builds my adrenaline. So there's risky behavior in there, but there's something else we have to do about this. Suicide rate is almost 4 times higher in men. Men, we tend to hold all of our stuff in, right? And we kind of suffer in silence. So it's okay to reach out to another brother or something like that and just say, hey, I'm struggling, I need some help, right? It's okay that we all reach out to those people. So we got to reduce those rates for sure. 70% of men are now overweight or obese. Again, this isn't a body shaming thing. This is just pure disease fueling things here. So diabetes, heart disease, low testosterone, early death is all associated with overweight or being obese. 1 out of 2 men, right? So if we cut this room in half of us are going to be diagnosed with cancer someday, half of us won't. So I want to get those numbers way down, get into the cause. I've also taken x-rays of hundreds, thousands of people at this point, and on our x-rays, our spines and our joints are deteriorating at rapid pace, right? So whatever we're doing, we got to make a change and we got to steer the ship in the right direction. So everybody knows the Make America Healthy Again, campaign. This is one thing that I've been so excited for. I try not to get into a lot of politics, but this is just too perfect. With RFK as our leader here, we've been making major changes towards real health now. So these are just a couple things that have been popping up lately, is that Texas has now passed a bill mandating more physical education, right? More gym classes, right? More nutrition education, clear food labels by 2027. There's Kraft Heinz. They're actually dropping all artificial dyes coming up in a couple of years. So that's huge. So that's your Jell-O, that's your Capri Suns, that's your Kool-Aid, that's your Crystal Lights, that's a lot of your salad dressing. So we're shifting these things back into a healthy food. So any food dye you've seen, the colors, it sells a lot, but it's horrible on our health. Fluoride now they're talking about. They know it's a neurotoxin. They know it actually decreases our IQs, but yet we put it straight into our water. That makes no sense to me. So there's RFK starting to make laws to pull this stuff out. They're actually looking into the vaccine schedule because there's just a huge list of vaccines now. Electromagnetic radiation, glyphosate, other pesticides, ultra-processed foods, artificial food additives, SSRIs, the antidepressants, microplastics. Right in the middle there, Ray. Just kidding. You can stand wherever you want. So really exciting stuff's happening here where we have a leader who's asking the right questions, things that as chiropractors have been really pushing for a long time and been ridiculed for a long time on a lot of these subjects. So I'm glad he's at the forefront really pushing this. So here's a quote directly from him. So chiropractors are my kind of people because the people are drawn to this field to critical thinking, right? We see the big picture, we look at all the data, and then we make a decision versus let's just do whatever the news tells us to do, right? So they are people who are willing to question the orthodoxies and have the courage to stand up. So super excited for RFK to be in the leadership role for health for sure. The average adult now, okay, right, gains about 10, 15 pounds every 5 years or so. They can't do a single pull-up, right? They stare at a screen, 5 hours a day. They eat more sugar than protein. They toss and turn at night, horrible sleep. They can't squat their own body weight. They can't deadlift their own body weight. They walk less than 5,000 steps a day. They hit the snooze a bunch of times in the morning, right? They pile on the medications for lifestyle diseases. They just get winded going upstairs, and they watch their body just decay year after year, right? So this is the average adult, what's happening right now. And this isn't getting old, right? This is literally neglect, right? So we have to make better choices. We are designed, again, to thrive, right? We got RFK in there. I think he's pushing 68 or something like that. He's ripped. He can do a bunch of pull-ups and push-ups. An old patient of mine, he was overweight when I started seeing him. This was back in my Hills Corners office a long time ago. He just said enough is enough. He drew a line in the sand and just started working out, hitting the weights. And I forgot how old he is, over 50, over 60, but he won like the bodybuilding competition in his age group, which was pretty cool. So other men here, in their 50s, 60s, 70s, all being able to, get their muscle mass back just by hitting some weights and making some proper lifestyle changes. So it's totally possible. You just have to set your mind to it and make it happen. So a couple more quotes. Dick Van Dyke, I know we all love him, right? He's pushing 99 now, but at age 30, I used exercise to look good, right? At age 50, not to be fit. At 70, not to be padded in a bed. At 80, just to be able to live without assistance. Now at 99, I do it out of pure defiance. So I think that's pretty cool, right? 99. So I think he was just on some award show dancing at 99 or something like that, which is pretty impressive. Augustine, he says, take care of your body as if you were going to live forever. Take care of your soul as if you were going to die tomorrow. That was another one I really, really liked and was going to hold on to for a while. Mr. Clint Eastwood on the end there, don't let the old man in, right? I've heard a few of you guys saying, oh, I'm just getting old, right? That's a swear word around here, right? Don't let the old man in. He will take over, okay? It's more neglect on that side, so don't let the old man in. All right, here's a couple of guidelines to start just crushing life again. So consistency beats intensity, right? You just got to keep showing up. One hard workout isn't going to fix everything at all. You got to stay consistent. You read one Bible verse, you're not going to change everything, but if you stick to it every single day for months, you're going to have this spiritual awakening for sure, right? So same thing with workouts, same thing with health. Just stick to it. It'll work. Listen to your body, not your ego. Pain isn't process. Burnout's going to stop you immediately. So just go at a pace. Get adjusted consistently, just like you brush your teeth. Eat the right foods. Sleep, hydrate, manage stress. One of the best ways to manage stress is to hit your goals, right? You'll feel great when you hit those things. Don't forget to recover, right? You got to take a break. You got to listen to your body and make that happen. Strength training is absolutely essential. We're guys, we're meant to lift heavy things, right? We're meant to fix things, right? So you start using some strength training. It's not for looks, right? It's for your metabolism. It's for your hormones. It's for your joints. It's for your longevity. And progress is greater than perfection. Anybody seen the movie Tin Cup? You guys know that movie? I love that movie, right? He says perfection is unattainable, right? So don't go for perfection. Everybody's like, I'm going to wait till Monday to start this, or I have to get this set up first. Just move forward. Just make some progress. It'll come. You'll slip up. You'll make a mistake, but just learn from it and just keep going. You can do this to honor God with your body, right? Our bodies are a temple. We got to take care of this. We're just borrowing this thing. So honor God with that, and do it. Just keep up with life. You're going to make some mistakes, but just keep learning, okay? Here is a chart that I have shown most of my like male low testosterone patients. We do some blood work or some urine labs and stuff like that, and I show them this chart because if you can see way up in the corner here, we got cholesterol, right? So cholesterol is extremely beneficial for us. We actually produce more in our bodies than what we consume. So it's not how much cholesterol you eat, it's essential. Okay. So what do we do when the cholesterol is high? We take a medication and we lower it artificially, right? Our brains are made out of cholesterol. Our hormones are made, from cholesterol. So as soon as you lower that stuff down, it sends a whole cascade of causing all kinds of mishap within our hormones. So this alone, so you take your cholesterol, it's supposed to go down to progesterone. If you have too much sugar or more insulin or a lot of stress or a lot of alcohol, that will actually inhibit that process, right? So you're getting less of this hormone, which typically would go down to testosterone. But when you're stressed, when you have a lot of inflammation, when you have a lot of sugar, your body will activate this aromatase enzyme, and your progesterone and even your testosterone starts turning into estrogen. Okay. So the dad bod, right? The big bellies, right? These are all estrogen based things, right? So we got to reverse these things and slim those things down so we get the testosterone back up like it's supposed to. So basically we do the lab test, we get the results, we figure out, where on this chart there's more or less of, and then we just start following the path, and you start listening to what it tells us to. Eat more of this, do more of that, take this stuff out. It makes a huge difference in people's lives and just their energy. So if anybody's interested in doing that, I do have some special pricing on it. I've done it for myself back in 2017. I did this last, but it basically charts all these different hormones for you. You basically pee on a little absorbent piece of paper. We can all do that, right, guys? And then we let it dry, and then we ship it off, and it gives us the numbers, and then we can follow that path to figure out where we have to make the change. So typically it's about $500. Pricing that I have is actually about $350. So that's a pretty good deal for how many hormones it lays out. Plus it gives you the direction of where you want to go, and it gives you some answers. So if you guys are interested, just let me know. We can get you set up for that for sure. So cool. Couple daily habits here that decrease our health. So I don't know, I feel like guys like to do the opposite of what they're told, right? So a lot of times like, well, if these habits are good for me, I don't want to do it. But if this decreases our health, then maybe I'll do them, right? So we're going to do the opposite. So chronic stress without the recovery. So constant pressure with no downtime. Yes, we all have stress in our lives, but it's the downtime, it's the recovery that we're not doing proper enough. So this is just killing our testosterone, it's killing our sleep, it's killing our muscles, it's killing our libido, right? Skipping recovery, so like Sabbath or your breath work, prayer, fun, right? This just all leads to just pure burnout, and then testosterone just keeps tumbling with stress. So screen time wasn't an issue 20, 30 years ago, but it sure is now, right? So it's hard to even get away from it. So we're typically 3-4 hours a day on our phone or our TV. It's really linked to the reduced testosterone. Our sleep's all off because of the blue light, and our brains never turn off. Increased depression for sure. So if you have blue light glasses, I'd highly suggest using those. Doesn't seem like much, but internally on hormone and bio level, for sure it does a big difference. So just start wearing some of those and see how it works for you. Processed foods, right? Everything's processed now. It's fast food, it's drive-throughs, it's just grab this and eat it and slam it down. These things are full of seed oils. They're full of processed food that basically is just a bunch of toxic chemicals meant for a shelf life that wreaks havoc within our bodies and creates inflammation and takes us down that cascade that is horrible. The refined carbs, so like the white breads and things like that, and the white rices, all of this stuff just turns into sugar, and then we have hyperinsulin and hyperglycemia, and it just keeps going down and down. So That's going to lead to low T. It's going to lead to weight gain. It's going to lead to inflammation. It's going to cause more estrogen to be built in your body, and it's just going to disrupt our whole hormone balance for sure. Sitting too much, right? We're all sitting, right? But hopefully you guys are out and about more during the day. But we have a sedentary lifestyle now. We're mostly sitting, 8+ hours a day. This is just slowing down our metabolism for sure, and causing muscle loss, poor posture. We're on our computers, right? We're on our cell phones. I'm always whacking people in their foreheads here to try to get them to pull their head back. I think you've seen me do that. Of course, leading to back pain, and stats and research now shows that sitting is really the new smoking, right? So it's like smoking a pack a day these days, just sitting around all the time. In the corner, that's the Hateful Eight. Those are all the seed oils. These things we have to stay away from like crazy. Hopefully RFK is doing a good job to get this out of our food, but it's a sunflower oil, it's the soy oil, it's the cottonseed, safflower, corn, rice bran, grapeseed, and canola oil. If you see that listed, throw it in the trash, right? The more we demand good, healthy oils and good, healthy food, the more they're going to supply it, right? So if you go to the grocery store and you purchase something that's cheap and convenient, so you get avocado oil, that's good stuff. Better choices, right? So every time you go to the grocery store, you're voting, and they're going to supply more and more of that stuff. Yes, it's going to be on the pricey side, but you're not going to be paying for disease. That makes sense, right? You're either going to pay for your health or you're going to pay for your disease. So I choose health myself. So, all right. Poor sleep habits for sure. We're getting less than 6-7 hours of quality sleep these days. It's a 15% drop in testosterone. Leads to brain fog and sugar cravings, mood swings. Even us guys can have a little mood swing. Nighttime alcohol, screens, caffeine is just making it worse. We're seeing more and more issues with these sports, these energy drinks. Thank you. Kids are dropping on sports fields and stuff like that. It's just it's insane and scary. Plastics, air fresheners, toxic deodorants, lotions. These things are all endocrine disruptors. Anything that goes on our skin just gets absorbed right into our bloodstream, and it causes this whole hormone chaotic mess. So there's definitely better sides. So use more glass containers. Don't freeze anything in these things in plastics. We don't have any air fresheners in our house. We use essential oils here, which is on the natural side of things. There's a much better deodorants that don't have aluminum or other things in it that cause hormone disruption for sure. So yeah, got that now too. Okay. Yeah. Cool. I like it. So the main place we can get stuff around here is right down at Health Hut, right? I really enjoy that place, and their pricing is very good for what they're giving us, and you can pretty much trust what they have there for sure. So too much alcohol, of course, even 1 to 2 drinks has been shown to increase estrogen levels. A lot of guys I hear, they take down like a 6-pack or 12-pack of Miller Lite or something like that in the garage after work or something like that. I really feel like the light beers are one of the worst contributors to this. If you're gonna have a beer, have like a thicker and just have like 1 beer or something like that. Just don't be drinking the 6 to 12, Miller Lights or whatever else is out there. So lowers testosterone, impairs your sleep, right? It's gonna cause some detox issues. This is all going to lead to just relying on a bunch of medications. So it's a lot easier for people just kind of pop a couple pills and ignore the symptoms and think like it's gone. But NSAIDs, statins, antidepressants, the protein pump inhibitors, the acid reflux stuff, those things are all been proven to lower testosterone out there, and even wreaks a lot of havoc on our gut. And our gut is our second brain. It's one of the most important things for our immune system, so we got to take care of that for sure. Ignoring symptoms. As guys, we typically do that. On one side, I like it because a lot of times the guys aren't just running to the MD or or anything like that, but we do have to listen to it. They creep up and they get worse and worse and worse. So if you have a symptom, you want to figure out, how can I heal this, right? If my body grew this, how can I heal it, right? So typically I deal with it later. That can cause major issues down the line, so don't wait that long. Obviously, we have a good group here with the Chiropractic First, where we want to get to the cause of your problem. So whatever you got, just bring it to us and we'll figure out a plan. Isolation is a big one for us men. Again, we like to hold our burdens, and we silence them, and we hold them inside, and we internalize it, and eventually it might explode, or it goes down the wrong path. So if you don't have a brotherhood, I highly suggest trying to find something like that with a men's group. But just being disconnected in the male community is one of the highest risks of having poor mental health. You got to have some accountability. You just got to have a partner there just to be able to help each other out. If your loneliness is a risk factor for basically smoking another pack a day. Some biblical masculinity matters, right? So Mr. Adams right here, I told him he made the PowerPoint. He's all excited. Yeah, he's right in the front. Just a month or two ago, I went to men's retreat, Christian men's retreat through Mercy Hill Church. It was fabulous. 24 hours of just men at a retreat center, just listening to the word. Adam ran prayer and worship. It was just like a beautiful thing. It was amazing how many men were suffering from the exact same thing, right? Because we all just internalize it and we don't let it out, and it takes us down a bad path of unhappiness and irritability and poor marriages and stuff like that. But if you can just get to the cause of this problem and be a part of a brotherhood, that's huge. So I think it's every May, pretty much, right? So next year, May, we'd love to see you guys all there. There's also the No Regrets men's conference through Elmbrook. They have another great one. I think that's more in February. Another great one. They've got large group sessions, and then they break out into small group sessions. Adam here also has an amazing podcast specific to the men Christian community. It's super powerful. It's just there to build us back up. I highly suggest looking into that. We've played a couple of them in the back here where he graced me and brought me on the show a couple of times. But that's him. That's this guy right here. Get his autograph later. Yeah. I only heard the voices. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, just at the conference, a couple of things I picked up on is just be strong and courageous. That's Joshua 1:9. Provide and protect. That's what we do as men. Right. Lead your family with love and truth. Ephesians 5:25. And then iron sharpens iron. Right. So we're here for each other. We're here to build each other up. We can do this together. If we just make the right choices, it can make a huge difference in our community. So on to some testosterone boosting workout plans, right? This is where it really gets exciting. So yes, there's some foods that help increase testosterone. Obviously, we want to avoid some foods that lower testosterone, but by far one of the most beneficial things to build your muscle, building muscle, bring testosterone back up is hitting the weights, right? So the biggest thing is using the big, huge muscle groups in your body. So the legs, the back, chest, core, and stuff like that. So you want to be doing these compound lifts that go over multiple joints for sure. So this is going to be the highest response for increasing your testosterone. So I've always loved the rowing machine. Is at the Wisconsin Club I used to be a member of. Missed that place. Awesome place if you live in that area. Plus we got the Y here. They got plenty of stuff. But one arm rows, I was doing that for sailing, just to build those muscles up for myself. And I was just putting more and more weight on there. So rowing is a really good exercise, weighted rows. It's just going to bring your shoulder blades back because we're all like this these days, right? So if you're strengthening this way, you're going to get those shoulder blades, back into place. So I highly recommend doing that one. If you don't have a gym, if you don't have a nice weight equipment at home, just start with some resistance bands. Just tie it to a pole and just start, pulling. That makes a big difference. Of course, we got the bench. Sometimes people's shoulders are injured or hurt, but if you just want to start off light or something like that and build yourself back up, benching's great for bringing up the testosterone. Squats, obviously you want to do it proper. Everybody here is typically getting adjusted, so you got to be careful about squishing your lower back and the dehydration or herniations that can really mess up your back. But again, proper form with weights can for sure build those muscles back up. If it hurts your back and you're at a gym, leg press because you're sitting and you're pushing with your legs, that would be better based on your disc herniation with the back. So, but short, intense sessions, so you really don't have to go for hours and hours, but 45, 60 minutes is really the max, all you got to do. Heavier weights, right? So just 6, 12 reps. So whatever reps you can do at that level is going to be the best route. And then try not to take 20 minutes between sessions, right? You've been at the gym where they're on their phone sitting on the weight equipment and you want to use that thing, right? Kick them off, right? 60, 90 seconds. Just bring their heart rate down just a little bit and spike it back up. Definitely don't overtrain, right? If you're stressing yourself out, that can have some reverse effects as well. So give yourself adequate rest for sure is a big one. So again, Adam made another one. So we did the Murph together a couple of weeks ago on Memorial Day. So the ladies thought we were crazy to do this workout. So what you do is you wear a weighted vest, 20 pounds, you run for a mile, you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and then you do another mile run with the weighted vest, right? We did it in under 60 minutes. That was our goal, at least my goal. We made it happen. We just did some intervals. We trained for it for a while. I'm telling you guys, you can do this, right? You think that's insane. If you just broke it up in small little things, 1 pull-up or 5 pull-ups at a time, or 2 push-ups at a time, whatever it is, take 4 or 5 hours to do it. But if you start somewhere, you can build it up. And that's the full workout. You can definitely do a half. You can definitely not wear a weight vest, right? It's just setting a goal and getting together with some boys and just making it happen. The Murph workout is based on Lieutenant Murphy, who was killed in action in Afghanistan. This was his standard workout that he would do with his body armor. So it led into a full-out workout that people all across the country, probably world at this point, have been doing. And it's for our fallen soldiers. So it was an honor to do that. So highly suggest you guys look into it or be a part of it. You can do a quarter, you can do a half, you can do it without vests, whatever you want to do. Just some other pictures of rowing or push-ups, or I always like this little sled over there. You put some weight on and push it, right? So we're made for more, right? So just don't settle, right? Don't settle for low. You can do this. I just remember probably when I started working out was probably in high school. Of course we all had gym class, but then we had weightlifting class and they taught us all proper form, and we couldn't walk the class because our legs were so sore. But then like in hockey for me, we'd get bag skated. We'd just skate until we wanted to pass out, right? College, the same thing. We would squat in like at a rack until we couldn't even do stairs anymore. There's chiropractic seminars I've been to where we would run through Disney, or we would be doing burpees in the parking lot with 300 different people. It's just cool to be part of these little groups over the years where they're all excited to have health. And so if you can get an accountability, friend or partner, something like that, really helps. If it's just you got to do something, right? So working out truly makes you feel amazing. If you can get into a routine, your energy will go up, you'll feel a lot better, you'll sleep a little better, you'll have a better mood. Most people say, I'm too tired to work out, or it makes me too sore, or my joints are too bad. I'm telling you, if you start working out, everything will start feeling much better. So here's some of the core nutrition principles for building your health back. We got to eat more protein, okay, gentlemen? More protein intake. This literally repairs our muscles. It helps produce our hormones too. We need healthy fats in our lives. So the hateful eight, the bad oils that we had before, we got to eliminate those. But olive oil, coconut oil, ghee, tallow, like these are all super good healthy fats that we want to add into our bodies. It's going to help build our muscles, decrease our inflammation, all the good stuff. So it's the sugar that we have to cut out. Everything is shifted to more and more sugar and bad oils and less protein, right? So whatever we've been doing since late 70s, 80s, they switched on us and just put a bunch of sugar junk in our food. We got to do the opposite again. So more protein, clean proteins, of course, organic, grass-fed ideal, and more healthy fats. So drizzle the olive oil on there, put some coconut oil to cook with, tallow to cook with, all good things. And eggs. Yes, eat eggs. It was like demonized for a while. Eggs are amazing. I have almost 2 every single morning. Whole foods, of course, can be good for your guts and good for your brain. Just calculation based on your body weight, about 1 gram per pound is of protein that you want to be taking in, and try to get those fat calories up for sure. The carbs, we want to stick to the whole food carbs, so the good healthier stuff. You can have some sweet potatoes once in a while. You can have the fruit. I like the low glycemic index ones. The berries are a much better choice just because there's less sugar. So meat, greens, right? Mushrooms. These are just random foods that we've taken pictures of over the years, where there's lots of protein, lots of green leafy vegetables, avocados, little sprouts in there, mushrooms. We've had smoothies almost every night, bedtime smoothies for the kids' entire lives. We put a little bone broth protein in there, maybe some almond butter or coconut milk or something like that. And then frozen berries is typically how we do it. MCT oil once in a while, but walnuts, all really good healthy things for us. So start diving into that. Just some supplementation, because everybody asks me specifically what supplements. We've developed our own line of supplements, Davis Nutrition, because we just didn't see the quality of supplements out there. So we basically developed our own line where it has 4 different certifications that just make it the most pure vitamins you can possibly find out there. Yes, it's going to be a little more costly, but you're getting the best possible stuff. If you go to Costco and just buy the lowest end junk, you're just fueling all the other diseases that we were talking about, creating more problems that direction. So we got to heal our gut, right? If we're not absorbing it or getting rid of the toxins, it's not going to work very well. We've got a couple different bundles on the website where either it's decrease anxiety or decrease stress, or heal your joints and inflammation, or even just trying to get rid of that extra weight around the waistband. We've got bundles for all those. davisnutrition.com. If you do Dr. Chad 15 off, you get another 15% off, which is pretty ideal. So if you guys want to check that out, but heal the gut, collagen, magnesium, zinc, omega-3s, ashwagandha, Tomcat, Ali, all good things to get the inflammation down and bring your testosterone back up. So cool. Do we pass out the challenge yet? No. I have a challenge for you guys, because as men, we like to be challenged, right? That helps us. Okay, so 30-day challenge for all of you guys. It's all written on 6 pages here for you. I've got food on the back there that you can stick to, foods to avoid, and then just a 4-week challenge, basically, for 30 days. So in 30 days, week 1 would just be based on kind of setting it up with some clarity and some commitment. So, defining why would you want to, be involved in this challenge. Nice. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, so step one is really just defining why. A lot of people are like, well, I want to lose weight because I have a high school reunion coming up. That's not a very good why. Or there's a wedding coming up. Not the best why. But, if you can truly get to the, core of why you want to increase your testosterone or start working out, like, there you go, longevity, right? So see your great grandkids or something like that, or honor God with your body, like whatever it is, you know, have a marriage that lasts 60, 70 years or something like that. Whatever your big why is, it's best just to write it down, because if you don't write it down, it's not out there. I love to track things, so if you can measure it like a lab or a watch or something like that, it's great to track things. So write down your weight currently, your waist, your sleep numbers, your energy, your libido, whatever you want to, whatever you want to measure, because you want to see the improvements or decline. I've got I think it's a 8-point little scale, so it sends a little microcurrent through my hands and legs and stuff like that, and it measures, I think 30 different metrics. So, bone density, muscle mass, weight, everything, water, like a bunch of different things. So it's just neat to see that throughout the months, winter, summer, post-workout, after food, stuff like that, and you can kind of measure what's going on. Just from the Murph workout that we did, I've worked out consistently for a long time, but adding in that specific workout, in those 2 months of training for it, I ended up gaining 5 pounds of muscle, right, and dropped almost 2% body fat. So I thought that was pretty good. So it was just neat to be able to measure that, though, or else I never would have known that. If we can cut out some sugar, at least reduce some alcohol, reduce some, some late screens, so that light that's on your eyes. If we can just start cutting the stuff down a little bit, and even starting like a morning routine. So instead of hitting that snooze button 3-4 times, right, get up and walk to a window and get some light, right in those eyeballs. That's huge when it comes to just waking you up.
Eliminate
that. Yeah. Any added sugar process. I mean, obviously fruit, you're going to have sugar in there. That's a natural thing, and there's fiber and things like that. But it's all the added junk that they put into us. So the goal is to reduce it down. Of course, the ultimate goal would be to do like a keto diet where you're eliminating completely, and then you get into ketosis where your body doesn't have any sugar to burn for energy. It just has excess fat, so it just starts chewing away at the fat at a rapid speed. So that's if you cut out sugar completely. So totally doable. Anyways, week 2, that's when we get into some strength training. So if you can just commit yourself to 3 times a week, just hitting some weights. Again, if you don't have a membership or anything like that, pick up a rock or something like that. Like you do whatever you got to do. Like just start lifting heavy things. Prioritize the protein and the healthy fats. Get your 7-8 hours of sleep. If you know you got to wake up at 6, then reverse engineer that so you're in bed before 10, so you can get the full 8 hours of sleep. The stats that I've seen, the research I've seen, is that for every hour of sleep you get before midnight counts as 2. Okay, so if you go to bed at midnight, you're only getting 1 hour sleep for every hour. But if you go to bed at 10 p.m., you're getting 4 hours before that 12 o'clock hits. So you're getting that extra real sleep. So get to bed, before midnight. Get to bed by 8 or whatever time you have to wake up. Adding magnesium, collagen, D3, all really good things just for muscle, your stress levels, and building everything back up. So week 3, we're trying to remove some gluten in there. So it's really not the gluten that's a big issue. It's how those fields of grain and all the stuff have been sprayed with this toxic, cancer-causing chemical. Thank you. So we really got to cut that out as much as possible. We try to get any flour that we have in the house. We try to get that from Glorioso's, if you guys know where that is downtown. It comes straight from Italy, and there's not a celiac disease you can find. Nobody's diagnosed with celiac disease in Italy, right? so we get our flour and stuff like that straight from Glorioso's. Dairy, processed foods, goal is just to start removing this stuff as much as possible. Our dairy, we're in dairy state, but it's so mucousy to us now. They put so many hormones into it. Of course, they'll almost arrest you if you try to get some raw milk around here these days. It's pretty sad. Bone broth, I love. You can get it you can make it yourself, of course, boil some bones, stuff like that. You can get bone broth, protein, which I get from Ancient Nutrition. I went to school with Josh Axe, Dr. Axe. He built it. It's an amazing product. You can put in your coffee, you can put in your smoothies. It's really good stuff. Great for your guts. Adding fermented foods, right? We have to repopulate our gut with the good stuff. So more fermented foods, the kimchis, the sauerkrauts, even like kombucha, better choices. And probiotics. If you can't get that, then if you can't get the fermented foods or you don't like the taste, you got the probiotics for you. Get outside and start walking. If you have a lunch break or anything like that, just get outside. Don't sit at your computer forever. Don't sit at your desk forever. Get outside, move, right? You got to feel the sun on your body. Saunas, stretching, downtime, huge for week 3. You got to take that time to relax. I'm a big fan of saunas. The Scandinavian, Norway, Sweden, those guys, their rates of disease are super low. They have the downtime. They go in saunas. I'm not telling you to go buy a $4,000 sauna like that, but on Amazon they got some ones you can sit on in a chair for under $200 and it just heats you up. So it's just a way to warm you up and let you sweat it out. This weekend is going to be a natural sauna here. It's going to be like 100+ degrees outside, so sweat it out. Yeah, for sure. Love it. Good stuff. They have those in all kinds of different patches and things. So week 4, get to the purpose and leadership here. So connect with your spouse one-on-one again. Date your spouse. Spend some one-on-one time with the kids. Life gets so crazy and everybody's stressed out. A lot of times the stuff gets pushed to the side or put last. So just try to start reconnecting, start again steering the ship in the right direction. Lead another man. Again, you need an accountability partner. Get together, start working out, walk, whatever you got to do. You can even start planning out the next 90 days. So if you're able to hang for the 30, keep going, right? This is just an early start, and it'll make a huge improvement. So some habits to stop right away. So let's get rid of the phones, at night. Plug them in, put them across the room, right? There's no reason to be in bed with your spouse staring at phones. That is such a disconnect. It is so toxic to your relationship. Let's just cut that screen time at night. A little bit. We'll leave it at that. Processed foods, let's cut that down. Let's start eating some whole foods again. That all came in God's form. Let's stop sitting all day. You got to set your watch, get up and move, make a little timer, just get out and move. If you have to go, get some water, take the stairs, whatever, just start moving. Over drinking, of course. Usually football season and stuff like that, people go a little crazy. Piling up stress. Again, it's okay for us to reach out to another dude, be like, you know what, I'm not doing great. Can we pray together, or can I talk this through? We can figure out a solution. So just stop bottling up that stress. Leads to too many bad things. So and stop being isolated from other men. We're all suffering. We're all like holding stuff inside. It's great to get together and be there for each other. So try not to be isolated from anybody. Couple habits to start. So again, the morning sunlight. So get up, drink some water, look out in the sun, get some sunlight in those eyeballs. Start that strength training right away. More whole foods. You can start meal prepping, so prepare what you want to eat for lunch or something like that. Again, get to sleep before 10. None of this after midnight stuff. Brotherhood, mentorship is absolutely essential for us these days. And so yeah, that's our challenge, is just to take back our role. Okay, be the man that your family needs you to be. Right, lead by example. Adam, maybe you can help me with the stats. Talked about in the podcast where if the man comes to Christ in the family, the percentage is like over 90% that the whole rest of the family will come with them and come to Christ too, versus the mom's it's much lower. But if the man takes that initial step and all comes to Christ, everybody comes. Same thing with health, same thing with a lot of stuff. If the man takes the initiative, most likely the family's going to follow. So I just encourage you guys to just lead by example. So yes to this. So say yes to discipline and no more excuses, right? There's no more excuses. One of our themes for the office here is that nobody's coming to save us, right? It's up to us, right? So nobody's coming to save us. So go ahead, fill that out. You can take it home. Obviously, you guys are getting adjusted. If you're not getting adjusted, we'd love to see you here. Love to set you up with your next treatment recommendation frequency, just to stay ahead, be a part of this, stay connected. We're in this for the long haul. My final word I have for you guys is this. I can't remember where I got this from, but I saved tons of clips everywhere. But this is my final word. So men are collapsing, not from age, not from stress, from low testosterone. And no, it's not just a sex thing. It's your energy, it's your focus, it's your drive, it's your ambition, it's your ability to lead, conquer, protect, and show up fully. And it's disappearing, okay? Not at 50, not even at 30. You're seeing it in the 20-somethings, the teenagers, the boys just not becoming men. Why? Processed food, sanitary lifestyle, endless porn, weak boundaries, fake dopamine every 3 minutes, no sunlight, no sleep, no resistance. This is not genetics. This is a hijack, guys, right? A full-blown attack on our biology. Your body is starving for structure. You want to fight back, fix your food, sleep like a man with purpose, touch the sun, lift something heavy, kill the fake pleasure loops, control your breath, your screen, guard your space like a king, eat eggs, like I said, because your testosterone is literally your fire, okay? And when your fire dies, so does your edge. So be warned, be wise, be wild, and be well, okay? Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.